You ever notice how the water sounds different under a bridge? It's like it's whispering secrets that only the drowned can hear. Stories say the bridge is old enough to remember when the sea was still a child and the sky wept salt water. Some say the sea witch lives beneath the bridge, her voice like the groan of a ship in a storm. And if you listen closely, you might hear her singing, just before the water pulls you under. You've heard the stories, but what's a sea witch, really? A spirit? A curse? Or something older than time itself? The bridge is just a threshold, but the water beneath it is where the truth begins. Legends say the witch rides the waves at midnight, her form half submerged, half ghost, with eyes like burning coals and skin like rotting wood. She doesn't just live in the water, she wears it. You don't see her. You feel her. A cold breath on your neck, a weight in your chest, the certainty that something ancient is watching. The bridge is just a beginning. She's waiting for you to cross. So what are we talking about? Not a myth, not a tale, a presence, a force, something that lives beneath the bridge, in the dark, in the water, in the silence between the waves. It's always been there. It's still here. You think this is just a story, but the bridge has seen more than you know. Every shadow holds a whisper, every ripple a memory you're not meant to remember. The sea doesn't just take lives. It takes time. It takes your dreams, your future, and buries them in the depths where no light can reach. You think you're safe, but the bridge is watching. Every step you take, every choice you make, it knows, and it's waiting for the moment you forget you're not alone. The sea witch doesn't just haunt the water. She haunts the mind. She lives in the spaces between your thoughts, waiting for the moment you let her in. So maybe you don't believe in witches. But what if the truth is worse? What if the sea doesn't need a witch to take you? It just needs you to fall. The first whispers of the sea witch came in the 1600s, when sailors returned from the Baltic with tales of a figure in the dark, her eyes glowing like dying stars. They said she lured fishermen with her voice, a melody so sweet it made them forget the sea's call, only to pull them under with a whisper of her name. The witch's curse was said to be tied to a drowned king, a prince who had stolen her heart and drowned her in a storm, his love turning to vengeance in the depths. Even today, the bridge remains silent, a place where the sea watches and the wind carries the echoes of a woman who never learned to love again. Some say if you walk the bridge at midnight, you will hear her voice, a lullaby that pulls you into the sea, where the drowned wait for their next song. You know how the moon hides the stars? Well, the sea witch hides the truth. She lives where the water meets the sky. She's not evil, just lonely. She sings to the waves to remember the things people forget. People say she takes your voice if you don't listen, or your soul if you do. But the truth is, she just wants to be remembered. So when you hear her song, don't run. Just listen. And maybe she'll remember you too. The bridge stands alone, its iron frame rusted and cracked, half submerged in the tide. The wind howls through its arches like a whisper from the deep, carrying the scent of salt and sorrow. A lantern flickers at the edge of the cliff, its light barely piercing the fog. It's the only sign that someone is still here, waiting for the tide to change, for the sea to speak. The map marks a spot beneath the bridge, where the sea meets the earth. It's a place of no return, where the water pulls deeper than the soul can remember. The sailor, or the fool, or the brave, takes the map and follows the path. But the sea does not forgive. It calls them back with a voice that echoes in the bones. And so the legend begins, not with a choice, but with a descent, into the dark, into the unknown, into the heart of the sea's vengeance. The first step is to cross the bridge. But it is not the bridge you think. It is made of bones, slick with seaweed, and it creaks like a dying thing. You must walk barefoot, for the stones are cold and sharp, and they remember every step you've taken before. As you walk, the tide rises. It is not water, but something heavier. Something that presses against your chest and fills your lungs with salt. The bridge begins to shift, not under your feet, but beneath you, as if the sea itself is trying to swallow it whole. At the center of the bridge, a stone circle appears. It is not marked, not carved, but it hums with a sound that is not heard but felt. You must kneel, not out of fear, but out of recognition. For this is where the rich watches and where the sea remembers. When you kneel, the water begins to rise around you, not to drown, but to reveal. It pulls back the shadows, and in its place, a reflection appears. Not of you, but of the thing you came to find. A face, a memory, a warning, or a truth you were not meant to see. But beware, the sea does not give without taking. The moment you see it, you must choose to stay and remember, or to leave and forget. The bridge will not hold you if you hesitate, and the sea will not let you go if you stay. The third step is not a spell, but a test. The sea witch doesn't ask for your soul, she asks for your truth. She speaks in riddles, but you must answer with your own. A single word, a single choice, that defines your fate. The bridge is a mirror. What you see in the water is not your reflection, but your future, written in salt and sorrow. The twist is this: the sea witch does not choose. You do, and once you cross, there is no return, only the weight of what you've become. The bridge is not just a structure, it's a boundary between worlds. The sea below is not empty, it's alive, and it remembers. Beneath the bridge, the water is cold and thick with something ancient. It doesn't move like the rest of the ocean. It breathes. These patterns are not random. They're a language, a code, a call. The sea is not just alive. It's communicating. We listen too late. We look too late. By the time we understand, the bridge is gone and the sea has taken its price. The sea witch is not a woman. She is the bridge. She's the current. She is the hum beneath the surface, the warning we ignored. You see that bridge, that dark stretch of concrete over the water? It's like a scar, a wound in the earth, and beneath it lies something that never heals. The bridge is a gate, but not to the world above. It's a gate to the world below, where the sea witch waits. Her voice a whisper in the stones, her eyes in the tide. So I'll say this: the bridge is like a mirror. It reflects the sky, but it also reflects the depths. And the depths are not what they seem. The sea witch is not a monster. She's a mirror. A mirror to our own fear, our own guilt, our own guilt, our own buried truths. She doesn't curse. She shows. So when you cross the bridge, remember, you are not just walking over water. You are walking over a story that wants to be heard, but only if you're brave enough to listen. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.